All right, today we got another Vespa overview. Kind of excited to get this one. It's a copy of the Microtec Cypher. As you've seen from some of my videos, I'm really a huge fan of these, and I know there's a lot of Microtec fanboys out there that love paying full price for the Microtec. That's fine, great. I actually have a Microtec. I did give it my OTFs, but I've still got my SOCOM Elite. I got this from either Blade HQ or eKnives, but that's a legit one, serial numbered, everything. Paid like 300 something for that one. Love it. Flipper, ball bearings, great knife. I have nothing bad to say about Microtecs. I just think for OTFs, for what you pay for a Combat Trudon, I could get 3 of these, And the reality is that these are using premium materials like S35VN. Some of them are using the Bowler M390. This one's S35VN as well. They're the Microtec designs. They may have added a couple things to them. They're not selling them as Microtec. They are under their own label. Get them off of DHgate. And they're not cheap knives. It's not like, they're more expensive than most of the Kershaws and all those mid-range knives that most people buy, for regular old pocket knives. These are still 120 to 220 depending on the model you get. So they're not cheap knives. And that's why you're getting premium materials. What you are doing though is leveraging cheap Chinese labor and things like that. So anybody with a good CNC machine and AutoCAD and stuff like that can crank out, a copy of something. They put it under their own label, but they are obviously, stealing heavily from someone else's design. If that bothers you, well, that's fine. Go buy the Microtec. I don't really care. I like a good deal on these things, so I'll buy Microtecs, and I have other knives that I like the Heretic I reviewed recently, which is Anthony Marfione Jr., his company. That went on sale for $199 at Blade HQ, so I scooped up a Heretic Knives Cleric with a Tonto blade and OD green. In any case, let's get on with this new one. So, one of the things I like is for the money, comes in a nice carrying pouch. Comes with a microfiber for cleaning it. It comes with, let's see, the tool to take it apart. That little, to fit on those proprietary heads. It comes with spare clips inside, extra screws, so if you're taking it apart and clean it and you lose a screw or two, it comes with a pack of them. It comes with the extra springs, not just the springs for the action, it's a dual spring mechanism, but there's also a couple of these smaller springs in there, I don't know if you can barely see those, for the button itself, because a lot of times you'll take that off and that little spring will fall somewhere in the carpet, and it's so tiny you may not, notice it. So they give you all that included. Very cool. The tool alone is awesome. So let's put all that aside. So, for the ones I've got already, let me move the Heretic and the Microtec out of the way. I've got the Vespa Combat Trudons. I got 2 of them, of the Vespa versions. One is with the Hellcat, Hellfire, I don't know, something Hellblade. Thought that was just kind of interesting looking. It is a little Mall Ninja-ish, but I kind of like that it was a Tonto, but it has a nice stabby point, and there's a little bit of belly there. And of course I've got the double-edged dagger. Very smooth actions, not a problem with either of them. They're excellent. So then I saw the Cypher, which is actually a little bit cheaper. I want to say this was like around $124 or something. Very thin. I'm liking that. It's got the titanium button. I don't know if you can see all this machining. Try to get it at an angle there. That's very cool. What's nice about it is that it's kind of grippy without being abrasive. All those little ridges and things, your hand actually grabs pretty well. The pocket clip, completely different. These have your standard thin clip, which works very well. It's also got the glass breaker tip. This one does not. This one has that titanium insert and more of a machined titanium pocket clip. Tension seems pretty good without being too much. Fairly high ride. Maybe not as much as that, although, well, this will be recessed down a little bit. This one always has that sticking out of the pocket. So, but looking at the thinness here, that is a good bit thinner, especially at the widest part. That's a good bit thinner. It's got a nice groove right there. It kind of fits your hand pretty well. Actually, that's not bad at all. If you got large hands, you can kind of grab it and fire that. I will say the action is lighter The springs are much stronger on this one and that one. Now, that may be because these are heavier blades, so you need a faster, you know, a higher power spring. That's a much lighter spring, not as light as the, whatchamacallit, as the, what was I going to say, my Guardian Tactical. But very nice action, very smooth. I love the polish on that grind. This is their Cypher equivalent. It is Bowler M390. And one of the things people say, oh, you buy stuff from China, you don't know what you're getting. I've seen too many video reviews now of people that bought these Vespa knives, these ones in particular, also the Ripper model, which will probably be the one I get next, and they've taken them, sent them off to a metallurgist service, and had them analyzed, and came back with the full report that they were in fact M390, D2, or S35VN. Gave the Rockwell hardness, the composition of the metals, you know, what ratio of what metals. It's legit. What you're doing is you are giving up, you're not going to have as easy, although I hear good things that if you have a problem, they will take care of you. But it's obviously not the same as if you're here in the States and you have a problem with a Microtec and you can just, contact the manufacturer and you've got a full lifetime warranty. There are some definite benefits, let's be honest, about having the Microtec. But if it's just, you just have knives just to kind of have them, you just want a pocket knife that's good quality, these aren't cheap. You're going to pay, like I said, if you get the D2 models, some of them go down to like $80-90, which now you're down getting into the higher end of Kershaw territory. And some of those brands that are, okay for just pocket knives. But as you start to get into the quality brands, you start going over 100, 200. Now you're getting into definite quality. You are getting up that range, but you're not paying, $450. You're not paying some of these. That's the Hellhound. That's the name it was. Some of these things, go for over $500. And if that's what your thing, and you want to collect have the Microtecs, go for it. They're great knives. There's nothing wrong with a Microtec, but I have a really hard time passing up a bargain when, on paper at least, and everything that I've had from using these things and playing with them, taking them apart, inspecting the internals to see where do they cut corners. Is the machining shit inside? Is there things that are out of spec, or is it likely to break or fall apart? I would say, unless you're like a real knife aficionado and really knew what to look for, if they didn't have any labels on here, and maybe obviously the differences in some of the designs, but if you took them apart, you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference. The machining is excellent. The actions are excellent. The blade steels are legit. These are quality blades, M390, S35VN. On the lower-end ones, you can get cheaper versions of all these if you go with D2. But when you look at the quality of the grinds here, I don't know how much focus I can get in here with the GoPro 5, but the polish and the grinds are absolutely gorgeous. I mean, there's no... You would look at this, and it's a $120 knife. It should be decent quality. The fact that if this knife was made in America, it would be double that, because you'd be paying, double or triple on American wages and things like that. But going to China for it, which is like why Apple has, a lot of their products made in China. As long as you got good quality control, as long as you've got people paying attention and you're using the right materials and the people are doing their jobs properly, you save on labor. And labor is oftentimes the largest component. It's not usually materials. Paying people to fix it, box it up, ship it, quality control, design it, work the machines, all that stuff, that's where your hugest operating costs come in. So by going to China, you don't have to scrimp on the quality. You don't have to use shitty steel. You don't have to have sloppy work. You can actually have everything all CNC machined on aircraft-grade aluminum, which is what this is, with stainless steel hardware. You can have those because you're saving so much on the labor component of the equation. You don't have cast aluminum and zinc alloys and just crap like that. Those are fine for a $20 knife if you want to throw it in a tackle box. But if you want something that's actually going to last you, and something that's actually good quality and fires and does what it's supposed to, holds a decent edge, you can pay a lot of money for an American company, or you can go to to one of these Chinese companies, and I don't want to say exploit their labor. I mean, they're providing it. No one's forcing them to do it. I'm not going to get political on that, but hey, they've got jobs and they're doing what they do, and if they're willing to do that, I'm certainly willing to take advantage of them and throw them a few bucks and buy their products. So very good. It's light. It's definitely lighter than these. It's long. It's not a small knife. I mean, end to end, they're about the same height, but it's definitely lighter and it's definitely thinner. It's got a different blade, more of a drop point with a really cool machined section out there. Don't know what that does other than aesthetics. Maybe it takes some weight out of the blade, out of the spine. But hair popping sharp, that is wicked sharp right out of the box. And again, I just looking at that polish, that's a beautiful grind. So this is the Cypher. The name of the company is China High-End EDC, all one word, on DHgate. You might find them on AliExpress as well. But I've got 3 other knives now. Every one of them's been excellent. The quality's great, the action's great, the materials are legit, the price is awesome. If you want to buy Microtec type knives, with some differences, because obviously you've got some different colors here, you've got an actual carbon fiber inlay. I don't know how they've done that. You don't even feel it. It feels like it's part of the blade. But that is a carbon fiber inlay that goes all the way through, but they've polished it so well you don't even feel a lip or anything. There's nothing to catch on there. It's completely not transparent because that's optical, but you don't feel it at all. The fingernail's not catching on anything. They're great value. I mean, basically, if you were to buy one Combat Trudon with a Hellhound blade, you're probably going to pay anywhere from $450 to $550 or $600, depending on what edition it is. You can buy all 3 of these for the price of that one Microtec. That's the allure here. So there's my Cypher. Very cool. Anyway, that's all I got for today.